He stumbled through the door at 2 a.m., reeking of whiskey, his tie hanging loose and his eyes glassy with secrets. I'd been waiting up, half out of worry, half because I sensed something was shifting between us lately, calls he wouldn't take next to me, unexplained absences, the way he'd flinch when I reached for his hand in public. But nothing prepared me for what slipped from his lips when he collapsed onto the couch, mumbling an unfamiliar name, a man's name, before passing out cold. At first, I thought he was just drunk and confused. The next morning, I asked him about it, and he blanched, stumbling over his words, insisting it was nothing, that he'd mixed up a friend from work. But the way his eyes darted, the way he couldn't meet my gaze, told me everything I needed to know. I pressed harder, and that's when he cracked. He confessed to loving someone else, someone he'd been seeing for years. My stomach dropped as he admitted it wasn't just an affair, he was married, legally, to another man, and had been for almost as long as we'd been together. 1,000 arguments, tears, and accusations erupted between us in the days that followed. He claimed he loved me too, that he couldn't choose, that he'd been trapped in his double life by fear and shame. I demanded to know why he'd proposed to me at all, why he'd built a future with me on top of so many lies. He broke down and confessed that he'd been running from who he really was, trying to force himself into a life that looked right from the outside, hoping the truth would eventually disappear. But it never did. I packed my things, shaking with anger, heartbreak, and a strange relief. For years, I'd been trying to fix the cracks in our relationship, thinking they were my fault. Now I saw they were fissures he'd carved himself, hiding a secret life because he couldn't face his own truth. As I closed the door behind me, I realized the biggest betrayal wasn't that he'd loved someone else, but that he'd never given either of us a chance to be loved for who we really are.